gotta get to y'all somehow, so I've been laying here meditating on what's going on with the world today. Oh damn. I do these lives randomly at different hours so that people that are up at 7 can get them. Some people up at 3 a.m. Everybody's sleep patterns is a little bit different. Whenever you jump on here with me with that, see, I should have known that purple royalty was you. Peace and praise, Queen. Good morning to you. I get on here today. Now, I can't control my energy, so if it come out of me, that's what's going to happen. Why am I on here right now? Oh, domestic violence. I found out that the spirit of the patriarch in this land is psychotic. You see, they secretly, anytime the matriarch or woman begins to enforce and assert the fact that the land and the wombs and the children need to be healed, they get shut up. They get put in places and positions where their audience is very small. Great rising, Islam to you. Thank you for joining me. I need the help of the teachers. So the matriarchs are now beginning to extend their support and their love towards me, or this work, excuse me. It took me a while to get them to see that I'm Psalm 68, 5 and 6. But once they knew it in their hearts, to come alongside. Domestic violence victims are being sent our way. Stories of corrupt politicians are being sent our way. And we're going to expose everything. Corruption exists in the land because they have the privilege of hiding. None of the people who being hurt by them are saying anything. They afraid of being shut down, a character being jacked up. So what we gonna do to heal the land? Man, we got some real damn life issues too. You can't just tell somebody, proclaim your nationality, and they getting beat by their spouse and starving and ain't got no way to feed their kids, relocate or move around or anything. What? We have to be on both fronts while we're assisting and helping people declare their nationality on the actual real record, not just mailing paperwork in, but there's forms you fill out and there's steps you take and people you talk to, and then you're recognized as you are in their system as well as your own. Like when they scan your credentialings, it says, not a part of the U.S., do not detain, blah, blah, blah. Now that's a real status correction. You're not correcting your status for the record if you're just sending some paperwork somewhere, mailing it. And that's not a record. That's not an actual record when you're mailing the paperwork. That's the record is when it's recorded in a computer by way of a servant that has been given a trusteeship or responsibility over the processes of this land. They're supposed to be serving you with these processes. You go there, you talk to them, you have conversations with them. They tell you everything. And whatever they don't tell you, you find out from your kindred. Sitting on the phone with these people all day long. Look, we share everything. We get together in a room, and every process, every person, every affidavit, every type of thing we need, we come together. Now, if these hoteps want to keep on being separate and running a more science temple of America like criminal enterprises, it has been informed to me that a lot of the members and a lot of the grand sheiks come from the prison. And their mentality towards the matriarchs or the woman, they can't even relate to the matriarchal spirit. They don't know because they've been with the energy of the male for so long. That's most prisoners in the penal system way out, being having a respectable sight in community. But a lot of these jokers are actors. They're put in place. They're not going to tell you in the temples if they're not telling you what forms are necessary to get your status corrected in the record like theirs is, to be able to operate and influence masses of people and own land, or to oversee land, and to have these different perks at the end of the year. If your Grand Sheiks ain't telling you that, they ain't real Grand Sheiks. Grand Sheiks are noblemen from birth. They tell the truth. It's a title given to an honorable Muslim. Domestic violence. The woman that is experiencing presently or has experienced domestic violence, we need y'all. We finna get a hold of y'all, because we need to expose what's going on out here. We got a plant-based diet going on. This plant-based diet is what we've been posting. We have a chef with experience of about 20 years in international, cuisine period, but organic cuisine. And we're about to start building restaurants all over the land. Houses, restaurants, whatever you want to call them. They're not going to be LLCs or corporations, though. They're going to be home-based. And we're going to start feeding our children and our families and our people organic foods. So y'all scroll my Facebook and see what type of dishes are on there, so we can start getting the orders to you. Trinity, you're in the same locale, and I know your light working is on point, as I've observed your Facebook. And I know a lot of light workers are coming at me lately because I'm doing good work in the land. So if you want to do one of your candle rituals, or meet up with me somewhere to teach me how to do some of these things to protect myself spiritually from all these more scientists trying to put these spells on me, I would be greatly advised and greatly appreciated. Joshua Williams Bay, good to see you. Y'all are free on here, Nakia McLeod, to share what things you are dealing with lawfully, so I can sew y'all up. They want you running in circles. They want you always distracted fighting them. They want you always talking to them. They want your energy on them. That's what they want. I don't deal with any service corporation, anything. And when I do, I'm commanding a corpse. Yeah. Telling the dead thing to live and arise and to do what I needed to do, and then go back in the grave or do whatever you need to do. Yeah. I'm consulting with the Orishas and the ancestors for anybody that wants to hear. I'm not selling my gift prophetically. So you're going to call me and I'm going to just share for you what I hear. If you want to contribute to the ministry, that's fine. But I almost lost myself this whole year trying to find me. I'm back. And now I just experienced in this past year so much that, look, ooh, y'all think y'all seen creation yet? Ooh, Sheila L. Hey, love, I've been missing y'all. You and the king doing y'all work on that side of town. It's always a progression and remedy. If we think that when we get one thing that heals us, whatever it is, one word, one food, one chemical process, that's it, something wrong with us. Because I've been on here, and each time I get a remedy that I think is for me, every time I go through the motions, the only thing I ever put on the record, which I just mailed to the people that I was supposed to, President Donald Trump, Antonio Guterres, Secretary of the United Nations, and the governor of the state I was born in, the only documentation I've ever put in was a name declaration and a judicial notice. Boy, they couldn't deceive me if they tried, because I've been watching. That's it. So after that, now I'm talking about from the Moorish American perspective. If you sit after 105 years of a particular movement taking place and the principles of those movements are not founded, then there are people in those movements that are preventing the progress of that divine movement. Noble Drew Ali said printing press. I got a divine matriarch that's a journalist queen. She's amazing at journalism. Guess what? We must lose to be able to gain. Absolutely. We must lose every co-intel pro-operative that has ever been set in the divine order, in the divine movement. That's what we must lose. And how do we do that? We continue to charge and hold accountable the ones that are placed in positions of teachings to tell the truth. If you're going into them temples and dealing with the Moors and they ain't giving you the honest truth about real credentialings, ask them, let me see your passport. Ask them, let me see your credentialings. Oh, where'd you get that from? Oh, how do you get that? What process? Because if you don't, then you just like the sheeple. You just like the sheeple, going to listen to the pastor in the Christian church and never questioning anything. Woo! Yesterday we covered how to get your own home. Today, I think last month I covered that too. Since we're in tax season, boy, y'all have no clue. I'm doing it the right way. You ain't gonna catch me scandalous out here falsifying tax documents. I know everything I can write off to be able. Boy, we fat this tax season. Listen. You're in your home every day. You're paying rent. You can write your rent off. I'll show you how, where to put it in what box and what line. All of your rent, all throughout the year. Plus another $7.50 for 24 hours and 365 days a year for guarding your estate. Technically, since they've been given a contractual agreement to be commercial on this land, they have to pay you for guarding their buildings. It's their buildings. Who built them up? Who built all them houses all around the land? The construction workers. And who's mitigating and managing the contracts between those buildings? Them people. So either we tell them to move their buildings so we can build our own buildings by hand, or we manage and officiate and we oversee. Well, if we overseeing your commercial activities, don't you owe us, buddy? Oh, yes, you do. How much is my hourly wage for guarding your corporation? They talking about a security officer. You can take yourself and you can say to the International Monetary Fund or IRS, hey, buddy, for the past 7 years, you've been doing commerce and I ain't got my back pay. Here's what you owe me. And then you think everywhere you live, every time you pay rent, every time you pay the cell phone bill, you paying for their names. You're paying for the use of their names. It's a franchise. You're paying Verizon for using Verizon's name. Whoa, they franchising your ass everywhere. Look. Then after you get done paying with all the franchises for using their stuff and their name, then I can show you where to go to see all your stocks and your bonds being traded right now. And how to contact these people and start getting them to either, one, leave your stuff alone, or two, contract with you and give you what's rightfully yours. Woo! Let's see. The reason why y'all be getting what y'all be getting on my Facebook is because the people done subverted it. So secretly, there's a few Moorish people out there who get my inbox, get my friend box, say negative stuff about me, try to discredit me, probably done falsified some documents. Some in the temple act as if they're still trying to figure out how to properly file credentials. That's a damn shame after 105 years of study. Wouldn't you agree? They acting, that's an act. Yeah. Man, you charge them because they wouldn't be able to be standing there if they didn't have the proper credentialings or didn't know how to access them. Yeah. They wouldn't be in those positions if they didn't have the knowledge to give it to you. They wouldn't be in it. Those more scientists, those grand sheiks, they know the business. I got emails from a few of them concerning them knowing the business when they was trying to rope me in and zealously court me because they knew my energy was going to do what it was supposed to do regarding drawing the masses so I could share the truth. So they was trying to get me, you come to this tribe, come to this temple, we got you, we're going to make you a grand sheik and all of that. But, man, you know how many times and how many things they don't offer me out here concerning pushing a particular agenda or whatever? Yeah, right. I hear only one voice, my mother's, and I speak what she tell me to speak out here. Everybody hurting. Jobs, need to work, trying to earn fiat, got kids, trying to eat, and all of that. So how do we help one another since everybody hurting? I don't like every single day having people and knowing people in my life having lack. There's a problem. What's the point of knowing everybody that has everything and all things inside of them and you lack it for anything? And I'm not talking about you like me, because I don't lack. The universe provides all that anyone needs. But when matriarchs call me and daughters and different sea stars and they can't feed their children, or the men, the more scientists around the land, the bros just want to get in their draws and they don't want to help them or anything like that, what do? Well, we a family. We got 60 people in our group. We just eliminated 700 people from our group. We need to come together with our collective minds and trust somebody with some financial whatever and start giving it to them, pulling it together as group economics. Otherwise, I'm going to keep on eliminating people out the group, because you have to do it differently if you want to change. You have to do everything differently if you want to see the change. Completely 100% separate from anything that we're seeing. So what are we doing differently in our group, in our family, in our people that have walked with us for this year? Now we trust each other. Now we share information. We're cool and we're building now. What are we doing? Everyone has gifts for each other. So our plant-based chef, he's going to cook for the family. Everyone in the family, in order to get their mind and body healed, going to eat organic. Okay? Well, how are we going to generate fiat? Because we know that's one of the instruments that they use for living in the earth, for energy or whatever. All of us, every month, commit to a specific amount, and we're faithful to a person that we could trust with that. And whenever someone has a needs, it's appropriated to that person. This is group economics. This is how our tribes actually grew and had empires all over the world. Everybody could call each other for anything. That's when the empire was at its strongest. One king would be like, man, I ain't got enough corn or seeds to feed my people. And the other king would be like, don't trip, I got you. But now I call kings and be like, I ain't got enough seed to feed my children. And he say, oh, well, nigga. You should have got a couple other females that you can manipulate to get some money out of. Wrong answer. You should have got a lazy bone in your body and just sat around and let people just give whatever to you and not do nothing for yourself. Wrong answer, buddy. You should have went into church and just kept on asking people for free shit and got all of that shit over time and still didn't do what your voice was telling you to do in your head, the mission that you were created for. Sorry, pal. You walking around like a zombie and you got work to do. Listen up, sons. The matriarchs and the daughters, they trusted me. All right. And it took me a year of dealing with them and showing them that I was about what I was about before they started trusting me. Now that I have their ear, they dropping names, buddy. So if you are with these city stars and you are running around with these matriarchs and you think that you doing something to them, you being exposed, buddy. So you better be careful. You better be treading lightly and treating these sea stars like you got some damn sense, because I will blast you. Last year, she went in my inbox and she showed me she had cuts on her arms. She showed me little videos of what happened on her. She had busted lip. I seen this about 7 months ago on my Facebook, and we was talking on the phone. These were some Moors who just abusing her, you know? And I'm like, I didn't understand it. I couldn't help her at the time, so I kind of gave her some words of encouragement, but y'all done. Y'all days is over, And as a brother, I have a responsibility to you to charge you, because I need to break these curses off of y'all anyway. I love y'all. It ain't too much going on except We got people who are learning syntax. Over time, the price will come down because we're learning it and we can do it ourselves. We don't need the other judges to do it for us. The other part of that is I do believe David Wynn Miller, I'm pretty sure he left the syntax contracts for the world. I'm pretty sure. On his website, if you really study, you should be able to find like a proxy or like just a little set contract, syntax contract between just for the people against the Colorable Service Corporation. What that looks like is you will get on that line if you ain't got the 1500 and you will find that, or you will teach yourself, or you will learn how to prepare your syntax documents. We do it immediately with a week turnaround. Not only syntax, affidavits of all sorts and sizes. Y'all got something going on, we're banging in the courts with y'all. Keyshawn Westbury L, peace and praise to you. You got any questions, let me know. I'm going to be giving all the information at all times. I went through my stages this year about selling packages and having processes. I do charge for my time because that is valuable. I am valuable to me. I'm hoping y'all valuable to me too. But I value you as well. And if you don't make an investment, you're not going to take this seriously. I already seen it. They just come, they don't make no investment, they get all the information, then they leave, and then they call me back and asking me the same questions they was asking me 2 months ago, even though I gave them all the answers. There's no investment. So when you make an investment, you put some time on it, then you're more encouraged to be about it too. So that's why we ask for the fiat or for the energy return to see if you serious. Yeah. And we need to feed these babies. Yeah. Laws, codes, statutes, things that we could do. So the passport will have your Moorish appellation on it. If you want, we could create the syntax documents or travel cards to have. It's so many ways. We got so many different ways to do it. We go through the service corporation and have them correct your status in their system so that they don't see you as an enemy combatant. Right now, anytime colonizers come into a particular country to colonize, they look at everyone as enemies, right? So you're registered in their system as an enemy combat. It does not matter what you say, what you do, what ground you stand on, or anything like that. In their actual computer registered system, if when they look you up, whatever name that you got your passport on, it doesn't say do not detain, not separate from the U.S., all of that good stuff on there that it's supposed to say to get them to leave you alone and stand down, then they're going to harass you. And if they can't identify you in their system, they will take you in until they're able to identify you. When they're done colonizing here, they're going to go do it to another land somewhere else until all the lands get tired of the colonizing and start making people do it the right way. Yeah. We have my divine matriarch teaching on different spiritual things, Shamira Dove. She's a spiritual adept and has been for many years. She ran many different programs throughout the United States for domestic violence women. So this is why I say, as I'm being trained spiritually, what domestic violence means, that y'all need to call us because we're going to be in the land doing work. The problem ain't the service corporation. We're sick, period. The issue is not the service corporation or what they're doing or not doing. We are doing it to us. We are the sick ones. We're beating each other up. We're mentally manipulating each other. We're using each other. We're stealing from each other. We're being violent towards one another. We're doing everything to one another that we think or are saying other people are doing to us. No. That's wrong. The collective of our body is injuring one another. What else? I told y'all that the abatement, when we do an abatement, it will normally shut down the case. If they respond in less than 10 days, then they default it. You enter into a notice of default. After your notice of default, you enter into a judgment. You're not looking for a court to do this. You're doing it. So, hey, I served you by common law 20 days ago. You never responded. That means you
Acquiesce, tacit acquiescence. You said everything I wrote you 20 days ago is truth. Ooh, for real? Okay, so now that you said this, my court, because your mind is your court, in the four squares and the box and the papers, the court, my court says that you're in default judgment because you can't respond to the truths that I sent you. They're talking about, what is the affidavit? What does it look like? Take a piece of paper and write your truth on it. That's an affidavit. Yeah. Then sign your name and put your thumbprint and put a stamp. Now, after these 20 days, you're in default. I move to, matter of fact, this case is a default judgment. Hold on. Send it in. Tacit acquiescence. Default judgment. Now I move to dismiss the case or command a positive performance out of you. How are you doing this? Well, you can't do it as any other corporation court. You have to do it as a consulate. Where do you get your laws to be able to operate freely as a consulate who is assisting Moors? The 1961 Vienna Convention. What else? The 1963 Revised Vienna Convention. They tell you step by step, here's the rights that you have as a consul to officiate for your bloodline on the land. How do you establish yourself as a consulate? I have to show you that step by step in the registry of the United States Service Corporation. How do they lawfully recognize you as a consulate? How does the Service Corporation pay you for helping nationals? Because they do. All countries do. They have to. It's a law. You get nationality. You can officiate as a consul. You have as much power as a judge. What? We're still building consulates. Now, I can't tell you the name yet because I want it to be registered before somebody tries to do something with it. But we have a few different names, and we're in a few different places. Yeah. I want to, because the prophet, the spirit of the prophet is leading this work. We got the newsletter. So the newsletters, what they're going to entail is all the corruption of all of the sons around this damn land, because I'm tired of it. The problem is them sitting in a secret quarters with these women and threatening them and tripping and making them fearful. Yeah. I appreciate you, Richard Neal. Vienna Convention, 1961. These articles give us lawful authority to be able to mitigate affairs on behalf of our nationals. So we're going to be studying that along with the syntax. Anytime you hear someone in colorable language, especially in the Service Corporation, have fun catching them and tripping out on their ass. Hey, buddy, you just used a noun before an adverb. You don't know what the hell you just said. Hey, buddy, do you know this is a verb, adverb, verb? The sentence doesn't make sense. Recorrect it, rewrite it. Oh, you don't know how? Let me teach you. Oh, I'm teaching you? Well, share some of that information with me. You know what? Was that me to you? Did you ask me to bring you on, or did I just hit the button? I think I just hit the button. Oh, I must definitely be giving you a call, Mosley. So I think I know that person. I've seen that person before. We're operating as a consulate. We're building consulates. That does not stop. We are in China. We have a group in China that we're teaching how to effectively officiate and build a consulate. So what we need is ground troops here. I'm personally the ministry of uplifting fallen humanity and making people aware of their Asiatic race is in full effect. It is expanding and growing. If I can't find noble sons and teachers that's going to help us, the new Moors are going to come in and tell the old Moors to sit your feet up and relax because we're going to carry out and enforce this law. The old Moors are any Moors that have been in the game for 50 years or more, that have been woken up and have a temple and that have children that have been in this movement for long enough. Okay, the new Moors are just random ass people, and you see them in all shapes and sizes and colors and creeds. I seen Moors that ain't got a lick of melanin, but they more than the Moor with all melanin. You know what I'm saying? I seen Grand Sheiks. I seen Christian pastors come out and do more work for the Moorish community than some of the Grand Sheiks that's been there for who knows how long. So the spirit of the prophet, it goes into who it want and do what it wants. Noble Drew Ali is going to lead whoever he wants to build this movement up. We got his printing press. We need stories now. What did Noble Drew Ali want to communicate to the world when the printing press existed? We have a commitment to start getting the buses, because until we fulfill what he asked us, his spirit can't rest. We need buses, we need schools, and we need a printing press. A lot of them, everywhere. Once we get those, then the prophet rests, then the spirit can rest, he could be cool. He won't have to keep on entering conscious minds and telling them to keep on finishing the work. Because these Grand Sheiks is subverted. They jacked up. They sold out to the highest bidder. Yeah. And they sold out to their own lustful spirits and egos. That's what they sold out to. They can't get around being they listen, they don't know how to be God and be human. And they think that being God is better than being human. Hey, I'm getting off this line because this energy is drawing me in. Peace and praise to y'all, and please get out your look. I don't know what you in, but we got work to do, Elder Morris, and your son is in full force in holding y'all accountable to the work of the prophet. So on that note, I'm on the way, Richard Neal. Peace and praise to y'all. Next time I get on, I ain't gonna just be ranting and raving. I'm gonna actually be articulating some law for y'all. I'll be back with y'all soon, and have a great day. Make the day great.